Hi, welcome back. Today we're on a big adventure. We are unboxing the last of the equipment that I've ordered from Highland Park Lapidary. We have the Tumble ruffer, crate with the saw in it, and way in the back there is a crate with the vibratory tumbler. So we're going to be going through these machines, pulling them out of the crates, getting them set up. And I tell you, these crates are great. I saved them so that I can store rock in them, rough rock as I find it. So thanks for joining me. Please be sure to like and subscribe. If you really enjoyed this video, share it with your friends. The more people that are following me, the better we do on this YouTube site. Okay, as you can see, I've got the crate open for the Tumble ruffer. So it comes with a little plastic wrap foam. We'll jump in here and see what this is. I imagine it's all the smaller parts that I might need. These crates are kind of cool, and I'll include it on the next video. They have these special little clamps that holds them together. Oh, okay. This is the drip system. So it's a little small valve. We'll put our water line in there, zip tie our water line up to that, and then it'll go down in a bucket with pump, and then we can control how much water is delivered into the Tumble ruffer. Too much water, they just kind of hydroplane and won't grind right. Not enough water, they'll just really make a awful racket and dusty mess. So we'll set this aside for now. Get the rest of this plastic off. These guys package these things with the intention that the delivery drivers are going to be awful. They're going to throw them around. Nothing's going to go right in terms of shipping, and so they're going to pack them with extra care so that if that happens, nothing damages the machine. So they're heavy enough. I have not had much problems with damage to the machines. If I can't tear that off. Okay, here's the drain hose for it. This will hook into this valve down here, and we'll drain it into a bucket so that our wastewater has a place to escape. Whatever you do, do not ever hook these drain hoses up into your sewer lines. They will go down through your sewer and start clogging it up and create a mess that you just do not want to deal with. Here's the water line. It's a little 6mm, 1/4" water line. So now to get the beast moving. Okay, this one isn't bolted down. A lot of these machines come bolted down. So they use Sherman tank parts to build these machines, and if they try to tell you any different, you tell them they're fibbing, because these machines are made out of Sherman tank parts. They are heavy. Okay, I'm back here. We've got my trusty dolly. Let's see if we can't get it with that. If not, I've got a furniture cart that will put it on. It's a good day to be doing this because outside we warmed up today to 5 degrees, and unloading the trucks and the trailer with this stuff is kind of a cold mess. You know, sitting there driving around and handling the chain cold morning. So I'm kind of glad that we have in here. We can work inside the shop where it's nice and warm. So, get this out of this crate. Go. That job out. How many people can say that? Except for when my leg gets stuck, a lot of times I just take it off. Not many people can say that either. I think they used a whole tank building this one. I have to talk to Sherman about finding lighter materials. That name, John designed them. So they could be really too long. So you can sweep up the floor in them. There. I think I got it on a dolly. Okay. Okay, we got Tumble ruffer moved out of the way. Let's look at this real quick. You got your little water line. We'll slide on here and we'll take this bolt out, bolt it into place, and it'll hang right over the top of the lid. Now, these two rods that are sticking out with these bolts are to adjust the paddles. So you take the wing nut off, lift the lid, and you'll see these two rubber paddles in there. Okay? Let me grab the camera and we'll look around inside of this thing. Get a little closer view of some of this. Okay, these are the paddles here. They will need to be adjusted so that they ride just. You'll take them down to where they touch the grinding wheel and then lift them up maybe 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 inch or so. Not very much at all, okay? The grinding wheel is dished in here, okay? That's what causes a volute action, or in other words, makes the stones that you're tumbling roll. Now, why do we want that? See how that turns? When you put rocks in a rock tumbler, like those little guys way over there, okay, it could take a month or better to get all the skin off of an agate, get it all rounded out, make it nice and smooth, to move on to the next stage, which is just a little finer grinding to start getting scratches out, and then you keep getting finer and finer till you're in your polish. Okay, you're talking a month in stage 1, a couple of weeks in stage 2, a couple of weeks in stage 3, a couple of weeks in stage 4, you know, all the way up until your final polish. Whereas using the tumble ruffer, now I can throw pounds and pounds and pounds of rough rock in here that I'm going to tumble. Turn it on, 3 to 5 minutes later, they're rounded out, all the rough stuff's knocked off of them, all the skin's off of them. They're ready to go and be delivered straight into the tumbler. And then your stage 1 is a couple days. Stage 2 will come much faster, stage 3, on and on all the way through your polish. So when you set the lid down, these paddles come in contact. Sorry I ran away from you for a second there. I had a thought. Before I set this down, I'm going to put my little light for my GoPro in there, so that now what I can do is stick the GoPro in there and you can see that paddle, how it's just barely above the wheel. Okay, that's kind of an important adjustment you'll need to make. They're usually pretty good about having everything set up and ready to go with these, with just a few minor attachments. Figure out how to turn the light off. Okay, so you close the lid up, we put the wing nut back on, close it down. Okay, the next thing you'll have to set up is the drain. So, as you can see, there's a pipe sticking out on this side. That's where your drain goes. Okay, so what we're going to do is unwrap the plastic wrap off of our drain hose here. It already comes with the hose clamp. Now, these drain hoses can be very tight, okay? But what you need to do is work them on there best you can. Now, here's a pretty cool trick. These are wire bound, so they won't expand a lot. But you can soak these in boiling water for a minute or two, and that hose will get extremely soft and slide right on there. Another trick you can use is put a little bit of dish soap on that pipe sticking out before you try to put your hose on, and the dish soap will lubricate it. Once you tighten the clamp down, that dish soap will evaporate off, and you'll end up with a very nice tight connection. So dish soap, heat it up some, you'll get it on there. I've worked with hoses for, I don't know, almost 40 years now as a mechanic. So I've gotten to where I just know a lot of little tricks on getting these done. Plus I got quite a bit of strength. And the wrong screwdriver. But you tighten the hose clamp down. Doesn't have to be crazy tight. It's going to stick on there. Now the drain comes through this hole, so the water will run centrifugally off of that disc. Spray up against the walls here. It'll run down and drip into the pan, and then it'll drain through that hose, and you can put this hose in a bucket that you carry outside and dump, or you know, you can direct pipe it into a similar to an Everclean system, but it's a sediment system. It's a tank that John sells there at Highland Park Lapidary. It's stainless steel, has these baffles in it, and so you'll put your drain water in on one side. You can pump out of that same tank on the other side, because as that water goes through the baffles, all of the sediments, all of the rock dust and everything settles down into the bottom of the tank. That way you're constantly recycling your water. Okay, kind of a good idea. You know, save water, save the planet, I guess they say. It's an added expense, okay? You can do the same thing with a 5-gallon bucket by putting your hose down into the bucket. Put your pump in so that it sets up on a little stand or little block of wood or something off the bottom. Now what'll happen is, as it drains, the sediments settle to the bottom. You're draining off clean water to run back into the machine. And again, it's just a drip. It's not going to be very much water. But if you want to recycle your water, there's a couple of ideas on how to do it. I'll go ahead and grab a wrench real quick. and we will set up the water drip. Okay, here's the parts to your water drip system. You got the multi-turn valve, very fine adjustment for your drip, and you have your hose. So first thing you're going to do is loosen up the bolt on the one side. Now notice the side towards the drain has just a bolt. The other side has a bolt and a nut to hold that adjustment. We're going to work off the side with the just the bolt. So what we want to do is take this bolt out, one thread at a time. You know how one-legged guy unscrews a bolt? One thread at a time. You know how one-legged guy climbs a ladder? One thread at a time. Okay. Once you get this slid down on a post, you'll bring this back in. It's not going to really tighten up that much on here, so don't panic. Okay. Once you get to where your bolt touches, okay, don't forget this fell. That's your paddle. Okay. So we know we're down. Okay. We'll set it down there. I'm going to lift it up just a little bit off the bottom, and then I'm going to go ahead and tighten this bolt in place to hold that rod. Okay, it snugs up pretty good. You don't have to get crazy tight with it. It'll hold that spring plenty well. You may have to bend and flex the spring around a little bit to get it directly over the center. Okay, then you unwrap the plastic off of your hose. I suppose you could take scissors and cut it, or a knife if you're really careful. You don't want to split your tubing or anything. Now, one thing I like, and it's absolutely not necessary, but I do like to have this drip where it's coming out a little more into the pot. This might shake around some and then your drip's going to go crazy. If you have just a short piece of hose on there, you're going to prevent that. And you got plenty of hose. I mean, this hose is over 6 feet long. So I usually cut off, you know, I'll look and okay, that goes right down to the bottom of this lid. So that looks like a good spot to cut it. It cuts really easy, scissors, knife, whatever you have on hand. Okay, now these are push locks. And what that means is you push your hose in till it won't move anymore. When you try to pull it out, it won't move. Okay, but if you push that in till it's locked, if you need to get this hose off, you push this outer ring down and slide the hose out. You push this outer ring down and slide the hose out. Okay, they're very, very handy. They don't leak. They seal very well. Now, personally, I don't care for the hose flopping around here. I want it a little more restrained, so let's put some zip ties on it. Okay, I'm back. I have some zip ties, and I have a zip tie tool. You do not need a zip tie tool. Again, I was a mechanic out in the field on heavy equipment. Zip ties were a mainstay. I love these things. So, to make it easier when I had to reach down in a hole and tighten something up, I bought this little tool. Kind of a handy little guy. See there? Just automatically pulls that tight with just a squeeze of a hand. So I think 3 zip ties should do the trick here. One close to the valve. I put one in the middle of this arch. And then I think one down here at the base would be good. It's just me. You don't have to do this, but I like my things a little more organized, I guess. It's absolutely not a necessary function, but I think that will work real well to hold that. Again, I put a little short hose on there so that it's down inside and it won't splash all over the place. It might not splash all over the place anyway. You can just cut these little tags off the ends of your zip ties. If you got a sharp enough knife. That knife might cut fingers better than it cuts zip ties. And there you go. The only other thing that we haven't talked about is this is a 110 machine. Okay? Remember, you're working with electricity. You'll plug this into an outlet. Okay? And you're working with water. Water makes things extremely conductive, like the metal on this rough grinder, okay? The Tumble ruffer. Now, it's just me again. You don't have to do this, but being in a wet environment, I have changed my outlets to a ground fault circuit interrupter. What that means is if you're touching this and you're standing in a puddle of water, you're going to ground out. That creates current through your body. A ground fault circuit interrupter detects that you're touching this and standing in a puddle of water, and it kills the power. So in other words, at the outlet there's no power. No power to the outlet means no power to the machine. No power to machines means when you're standing in a puddle of water, you're not going to get shocked. It's a safety thing. It's just me. You don't have to do it. It's not required, but do make sure this is in at least a grounded outlet, because that will create a lot of protection on its own. Okay? Never ever ever cut that round post off to plug it into a two-prong plug. Go get a grounded outlet and change your outlet out. This is a Tumble ruffer from Highland Park Lapidary. Watch in the future for videos of it in operation. I know I'm ready to have fun with it. I hope you are as well.